Summer lingers in the air, in the sound, open skies, worn boots. One more night before it's gone. Gulls summer send-off.
The Gulls take game one.
And he's looking for the strikeout to put an exclamation point on this series, and he does.
And for the first time in franchise history, the Sylvan Lake Gulls head to the WCBL championship. There will be a new WCBL champion this season.
That's got a chance.
Or a home
Where
run.
is it going?
Good
is it
night.
enough? Yes, it does. Marcus Abelhosen with the walk-off homer.
The Sylvan Lake Gulls have got the dog off their back. They are headed to the WCBL championship final with an 8-4 win.
The road to the Harry Hallis Memorial Trophy all kicks off here tonight in Sylvan Lake in the Western Conference semifinal between the third place Lethbridge Bulls and the second place Sylvan Lake Gulls. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you tuning in to Gulls baseball right here on Flow College, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. And there's nothing sweeter than postseason baseball. We are finally here. It has been a long, long wait for this Sylvan Lake Gulls team to get back in to the postseason picture, as we remember exactly what happened this time of year last year. And it's all about, for them, changing the script, wanting to finish what they started here last year. Meanwhile, for the Lethbridge Bulls, it's more for seeking revenge and making a playoff run that's going to go past the Sylvan Lake Gulls, as the Sylvan Lake Gulls have now swept the Bulls 2 straight times, back in 2023 and of course last year in 2025. So this is a huge rematch series between both the Gulls and the Bulls. Of course, the Sylvan Lake Gulls finishing their season with a 38-18 record, the third time they've done it in franchise history. As we take a look at your starting pitcher for tonight's matchup to get the nod in game one of the Western Conference semifinal, and they're going to go to the guy that has had the most success against this Lethbridge Bulls team this year. And Reese Hammerling had 8 starts in the regular season, a 4-3 record, 4.17 ERA, over 45 innings of work, 35 strikeouts, and 41 hits. The Bulls are going to obviously send their powerhouse, their offense, the best that they can do against the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and that is Jalen Ryan. Caleb Haney, as you know, has always been such a rock for this Bulls team, and then Cardell Deck will round out the number 3 batter, and then of course Tetsu Nishida will round out the entire batting order for the Lethbridge Bulls. Defensively, you'll see Michael Quick. He's going to get a start tonight, as he's got that veteran presence for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Starting in left field, Dom Juicy, the defender player of the year for the Gulls, and center Charlie Collins, who has absolutely been on fire to end this regular season. Then you bring it in John Boy Rittenhouse. He's been a stud all season long. Jaden Flores, a rematch for him from last year. Maddox Shaver at second, Coleman Perry at first, and Eli Duncan behind the plate catching balls and strikes. So really cool stuff. You got that veteran presence. You also got the new guys that came in this year, and they just created waves for the Sylvan Lake Gulls team and the Sylvan Lake Gulls fan base. It has been a terrific year for the Gulls. A lot of offense getting things done, and then the defense, of course, helping out too. And you take a look at the Sylvan Lake Gulls defense, and they have had the fewest runs allowed by a team in the WCBL at 245 runs against. So that just goes to show that their defense has really stepped it up this year. Now, normally in past years, and the WCBL could talk to, we heard Joe McFarland in the WCBL pregame, post-game report, I guess you could say, about how Sylvan Lake wasn't necessarily this year relying on a couple heavy arms on the mound. They were, in fact, just kind of spreading it through that bullpen and then also getting some defense in the infield from Jaden Flores and Coleman Perry and plays like that to start this game. It is a 6-3 out, just like that on the first pitch swinging by Jalen Ryan, trying to get things started early. Wow. Didn't waste any time. Out number one. You got to give credit to Jalen Ryan. Obviously, the Lethbridge Bulls, they're coming in. They're going to want to swing the bats early. They're going to want to kind of make their night hard on Reese Emmerling, and that's going to be a key, I think, to the Lethbridge Bulls' success in this postseason, especially against the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Is they're going to have to, use their offense to their fullest abilities, and then of course they're going to need to get the pitching when they have it. Lethbridge Bulls, their offense is just so good as well. I mean, you take a look at the two, and really it's like a mirror between the Gulls and the Bulls as this is lifted out into left field, and it just hangs in the air. Michael Quick makes the catch for out number two on Caleb Haney, who has been their rock all season long. He looked like he was going to drive in a base hit, but that had some spin on it. He kind of put a little cut on that ball, and it just faded to the right direction for Michael Quick. Instead of staying straight, if it stayed straight, that's probably landing in for a base hit between left center field. But because it had a little tail on it, that allowed Michael Quick to get there in time for out number two. This will bring up the catcher Cardell Dick now. And he takes a swing at the first pitch he sees as Hammerling gets on the off speed early. And we don't have the radar gun in this game, actually. I think it might be broken, might be down maybe, but it's not showing right now on the scoreboard, so not really sure how fast these pitches are coming in right now. And another pitch that is the off speed, and it sweeps away from Cardell Dick. 0-2. Lethbridge Bulls, Sylvan Lake Gulls, first inning. Western Conference semifinal, and we are underway here in Sylvan Lake, Alberta, Canada. Great to have you tuning in on Full College, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. Cale Clark here with you live in the booth. Happy to have you watching in from wherever you may be, as Hammerling's got the 1-2 count, and Osby goes outside away for Cardell Dick to even it 2-2. Lethbridge with just 9 runs less scored than the Sylvan Lake Gulls this year with the offense. So that goes to show how good this offense has been for the Bulls. Now, what it comes down to is defense, and that's where Sylvan Lake has really stepped it up in a huge way, and the Bulls not necessarily the same case. Losing Carter Clare out did not help. Some injuries as well. And that just misses outside. Of course, Eli Duckett trying to frame that ball. So full count here. Cardell Dick making Reese Hammerling pitch the most. The Beaumont, Alberta kid getting the start in game 1 for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And he comes in and he strikes him out with an off speed to get this game started. What a pitch by Hammerling. He's got himself a K on the night already. Gulls coming to bat in the bottom of the first.
Summer lingers in the air, in the sound, open skies, worn boots, one more night before it's gone. Gulls summer send-off.
The Lethbridge Bulls are going to send a guy that has had a lot of innings and a lot of starts to in this season. Shea McTavish with the most starts as a Lethbridge Bull pitcher. He had 9 starts in the regular season, a 3-0 record, 8.26 ERA, over 40 innings of work, 43 Ks, giving up 49 hits and 21 walks. So, pretty good numbers for this guy, and Shea McTavish. This is who he is going to face. The Gulls offense, as we were talking about, oh so hot, heating up just ahead of the postseason, and they're going to look to keep it going. Jaden Flores, Michael Quick, Elijah Hamill, the 1-2-3 hitters. John Boy will be in the cleanup position, and then, of course, Dom Juicy will round out the batting order for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Defensively, you got Will Turner out in left, Jalen Ryan in center, Jordan Monroe out in right, then Caleb Haney in his office over at third. Luke Wheatley, the shortstop. Tetsu Nishida is going to play second tonight. Xander Meisner over at first, and Cardell Dick catching balls and strikes. Sylvan Lake looking to get off to a great start in this postseason, and they're going to lead off with the guy that was here last year, that remembers the taste of getting right to the WCBL finals. And Jaden Flores, I think, is hungrier than anybody right now to get a WCBL championship under his belt. And he takes the first pitch in for a ball. Second pitch coming in. That will catch the zone. Well, 1-1 count to Jaden Flores. And take a look at Jaden Flores' numbers this year. .319 was what he was hitting as an average. 12 RBIs, 1 home run, 23 hits, 18 runs scored in 72 at-bats. And he came in kind of in that halfway point, in fact, over the halfway point of the season, where he's got only 23 games under his belt. And he's picked up from where he left off last year. He's been a solid player for the Sylvan Lake Gulls in the last 2 seasons. Kid from Wiley, Texas. Southern Illinois University product. And the nice thing for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, too, is a lot of their players, from my knowledge, are staying to basically the bitter end of the playoffs. They should be able to make it through the bitter end. So that was a huge key for them, of course, in scouting reports and everything like that. And Flores lifts this in the air, pop fly, and it lands just harmlessly in front of the Bulls dugout. A good stab there by Cardell Dick trying to get there, but that was a long ways away for Cardell Dick and for the first baseman, Xander Meisner, who was playing pretty far into the infield. And it just lands safely for Jaden Flores. So an even count, 2-2. The shortstop for the Gulls, and he will probably be that guy for the rest of the postseason. Flores lifts this high, pop fly ball yet again. This time it'll make its way out to center field. And Jalen Ryan will make the catch for out number 1 on the Gulls. Good catch there by Ryan. Gets there with lots of time. Routine pop fly. And then that will bring up the veteran, Michael Quick, who also, has just helped this team be so successful this year. Sorry. Sometimes talking's a little hard, especially when you're me. But his on-base percentage, .402 this year with 31 runs, and he pops this up. Shallow left field. Settling underneath of it is the shortstop, Luke Wheatley, for out number 2. So the Bulls are making quick work of the Sylvan Lake Gulls right now. And a couple big pop-up balls. And due to good credit from good pitching by Shea McTavish. So that'll bring up the oh-so-dangerous Elijah Hamill, the MVP of the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Led this team with home runs in the regular season at 11. Was hitting .349 average, 33 RBIs, 51 hits. And he's going to look to keep this inning alive as he takes that first pitch. In for a ball, 1-0. Just 8 pitches so far for Shea McTavish. He has been very efficient, working quickly, getting some quick pop-ups. And he gets Elijah Hamill cut under that one, and he pops it back. Sylvan Lake Gulls ended their regular season on a good note as well. They went 10-3 in their last 13, 14-6 since the All-Star break, and 8-2 in their last 10. So they have been playing some pretty good baseball since Canada Day even. Things have kind of turned around. Before that, they were kind of around the 500 mark, but then guys got in. They got their big vets. They got the big bats going. And then the fireworks started, really, and they just haven't turned back since. Of course, near the, third quarter mark, I'd say they kind of were, they win a couple, lose one, win a couple, lose one. But for the most part, they've been starting to heat up as we've been getting close to postseason baseball here in Sylvan Lake. And Hamill takes a swing at that, missing, and it might have fouled it off as well, but it's going to bring the count to full with 2 down here on one of the Gulls' hottest hitters in Elijah Hamill. Definitely probably some nerves riding in this game as well. Hamill on the ground. Nishida will field it and get it there in time for out number 3. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for both teams. And it's scoreless after a 1 inning of play. We'll be back to the top of 2 next. You're watching Gulls Baseball.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
For over a century, we've been more than just lawyers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your strongest advocates. With 15 locations across the prairies, we're everywhere you are. Stringham, your local lawyers.
Have you ever wondered if there's one thing that connects people from across our province? Something that connects the coffee shop to the spray park, or the brewery to the rodeo, the campground to the sports field. It's pretty amazing when you think about how it's all connected, because it truly is. And it's all we think about, so you don't have to.
Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Lethbridge Bulls, game 1 of this Western Conference semifinal. But let's take a look at the matchups around the league in case you are unaware. While the Okotoks Dogs, the top team in the West, are facing Energy City for 3 in Okotoks territory. Maybe 2, but maybe 3, as Energy City will be playing all postseason games in Okotoks for that series. And then you look to the east, and Moose Jaw just ran with the Eastern Division. They finished amongst the top of the East. They'll face Medicine Hat, who's the 4th seed. They just got into the postseason. And then Saskatoon and Regina, a rematch for them from last year when Regina upset the Saskatoon Berries in the Eastern Conference Final. So fun stuff to see all the way around as we get set for postseason baseball here in the WCBL. And it all starts here tonight. So far, a great start from both teams defensively here between the Gulls and the Bulls, as the defense have looked great. Gulls have had a strikeout, ground out, and a pop fly. Meanwhile, the Bulls forced the Gulls to pop it up twice and a ground out. So good stuff there by both pitchers. And that's kind of what we kind of expected, and what we're probably going to look into is what defense is going to crack first. Which defense is going to be the strongest throughout the series? Because at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the offense, and which offense is going to be hotter and be able to get some base hits in there and manufacture some runs. So an even count. This is Jordan Monroe, Xander Meisner, and Will Turner, the scheduled batters to come to the plate in this inning for the Bulls, as Monroe, the cleanup hitter for the Bulls. And he hits this on the ground. A 2-hopper. Maddox Shaver bobbles it for a moment, but he does recover in time for out number 1, as he didn't make a clean pickup off the turf, but he stopped it in front of him. regathered his bearings and just threw it in time for out number 1. And again, that could be nerves, right? These guys, I mean, these games mean a lot now, obviously. Every game moving forward has a lot of importance on the line. And with 3-game series, it goes by quick. You basically got to win. Because you lose and you're on your heels a little bit. You're on your face, as they may say. So Xander Meisner 0-1. Hammerling then comes in with the fastball, 89 miles per hour. And that is a fastball, 0-2. Let's take a look at our umpires here tonight. Right there behind home plate is Mike Richards. Over at first is Rob Allen. He's the crew chief. And then Levi Wagner, who has seen a lot of Gulls baseball here at the ballpark, is over at third. And a swing and a miss strikeout on Xander Meisner. So we take a look at this pitch. And Eli Duncan just going to throw down to first just to be safe, but he did make the catch behind home plate. So there's the second K of the night for the Beaumont, Alberta native, Reese Hammerling, the USC upstate product. Now Will Turner, 2 down quickly yet again. And there's a swing and a miss on Will Turner. When we take a look at Turner's numbers, and he hasn't had the best numbers at the plate. 176 averaging, 12 RBIs, and 91 at-bats. He's put on 16 hits in those 24 games. He's up in the count right now, 2-1. Hammerling, 2 down. And he really settles in there, and that was a beautiful pitch. An off speed that literally started at Turner, and it just worked its way into the zone. That had a lot of movement on it. And then he tries that same pitch, but a little bit more further away, and Turner reaching for it, stays alive, making a little contact. And a strikeout yet again. This is why he has gotten the start for first game in the Western Conference semifinals. Reese Hammerling with another strikeout. That is 3 Ks in 2 innings of work. He has been absolutely dealing them here tonight. Gulls coming to bat, bottom 2.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Well, here's a crew that looks like they're ready for postseason baseball, having some fun, staying some light, still staying light about it too, because, you know, we saw Mason Little there in the middle of your screen the other night. He got to come to bat in the last game of the regular season against the Fort McMurray Giants, and he was the guy that ended up coming around to score the mercy run. And that was a lot of fun. And in fact, Hunter Durr had a heck of a game too. He's a rookie, and he was the player of the game, brought to you by EG Auctions. He's talking to Bryce Turner there right to your right of the screen. And then, of course, you got Braden Stewart and Kyle Freilich on the left. So, yeah, guys that are, you know, pumped about this situation. Good to be in postseason baseball, and just looking for their team to kind of break open the scoring. And this is a good guy to maybe do it. John Boy Rittenhouse to lead things off with the pink guards. led the Gulls with the most RBIs, 54 RBIs on the year, 328 batting average, 44 runs, and 10 home runs. Go, Johnny, go. And he hits this high and foul. Just past the Bulls' bullpen. That finding the inside corner on Rittenhouse, now 1-2. Shea McTavish been solid so far for the Lethbridge Bulls. 16 pitches as well. He's been efficient so far here tonight. Rittenhouse, little looper. Is it got enough? And it's a good catch made by Tetsu Nishida. That is not an easy catch to make, as it was popped up and it, was starting to sail out to the outfield, and Nishida having to look way over his shoulder and run away from the play, hauls it in for out number one, sorry. So this will bring up the kid that was heating up as the end of the regular season played on from Melbourne, Australia, Charlie Collins. What a year he had as well for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Came into his own, especially in the second half of the season. Came in with Matthew McKenzie. They both arrived at the same time, and he got a start out in right field, and he hasn't really turned back ever since. That's kind of been his home office. He's kind of secured that right field position all season long. And you take a look at his numbers, well, why wouldn't you? He was amongst the top leading batting average. In fact, he was the leading batting average for the Sylvan Lake Gulls at 372 and 137 at-bats. He played 38 games. And he hits a line drive, but a great catch made in left field by Will Turner. Wow. The Bulls defense have come to play here tonight. That was a well-hit ball, and Turner tracks it down all the way, and the nice sliding grab out in left field. Cools down one of the hottest hitters as of late. So the defense and the fielders are making some great catches for the Lethbridge Bulls. So Coleman Perry steps up. He was the Culture of Excellent Gulls Award winner and became a fan favorite quickly as he hits this on the ground. Caleb Haney will run onto it and make the throw in time for out number 3. So both teams back-to-back innings, 3 up, 3 down. There is not a lot of room out there right now for any of the offense to get going. Bulls looking to change that in the third when we come back.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
For over a century, we've been more than just lawyers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your strongest advocates. With 15 locations across the prairies, we're everywhere you are. Stringham, your local lawyers.
Yo, Dustin, you going?
Yes.
Can I join you guys? All right, let's go.
Whether it's on the ice or on our app, always play for the fun of the game. Gamble responsibly with Play Alberta.
A nice full crowd here on this Friday night of the Western Conference semi-final matchup between the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Lethbridge Bulls. Still waiting for the first run to score in this game as fans are patiently waiting on. It has been a tight defensive game for both of these teams. Fielding has been so far so perfect, and Reese Emmerling has also been phenomenal to start this game, giving his team a fighting chance in game 1 of the semifinals. And he's got already 3 strikeouts on the night in 2 innings and 24 pitches thrown. So he's going to face the 7, 8, 9 batters here in the third. Luke Wheatley, Carson Haney, and then, of course, Tetsu Nishida. a little bit of a quieter crowd than what we saw at Fan Appreciation Night back on Wednesday night, which is a little bit of a surprise knowing that it's postseason baseball, but it is a Friday night at the same time. Summer, people are out there camping, still trying to take full advantage of the warm weather while we got it. Because as you know, if you don't know, in case you don't, Canada, our summers are short. And we take full advantage of it when we can, when it comes around. So, but no, still a good crowd here on a Friday night for this postseason matchup. Luke Wheatley, the shortstop, is up in the count, 2-1 right now. He checks his swing. Did he go around? The appeal says he did. Rob Allen says he went around on it. Let's take a look at it here as we get a great view of our side camera angle. And yeah, that's close actually. It's really close, but yeah, Rob Allen says he went. And a good pitch there by Hammerling. Had Luke Wheatley thinking about it. Brings the count to full. Still scoreless between the Bulls and the Gulls. Cale Clark here with you. You're watching Gulls baseball on Flow College. And it's a walk. The first walk given up of the night. The first base runner on the night in this series will go to the Lethbridge Bulls. A great plate appearance there by Luke Wheatley, and he had great patience to get on base. So that'll bring up Carson Haney, the DH, brother of Caleb Haney. Carson hitting .297 this year as an average, 17 RBIs. 27 hits and 91 at-bats. And Hammerling finds the outside corner to even the count, 1-1. Another great pitch. 87-mile-per-hour fastball. Again, that's the thing that I've been noticing about Reese Hammerling tonight. He's picking corners and sides. He's not going right down the middle of the plate. He is literally just picking little pieces of the zone away at a time. He has been dialed in here so far tonight. A great start. I'm liking what I'm seeing from this kid from Beaumont, Alberta right now. I mean, he is the second highest pitcher to get action for the Sylvan Lake Gulls here this year. 45 1/3 is what he had for work this summer coming into this game. And Carson Haney is just trying to stay alive right now. He's fouled off a couple in a row here. 5 pitches he's already faced. And this ball hit pretty well into right field, and it's going to drop fair. Lethbridge Bulls get the first base hit of the series as well. Carson Haney with a single. He's over at first. Wheatley's over at third. We got runners on the corner with 0 outs. Lethbridge starting to put some offense together here. And kind of what I was mentioning in the pregame show, it's going to come down to which defense is going to outlast the other and which offense is going to finally crack things open. And so far, Lethbridge has been getting the pitching that they needed. They've been getting the fielding that they needed as well, as we've seen that they haven't had the most success with their defense this year. And they have been just keeping up with the Gulls, and now the bats are coming out. And now the throw down to second. And he gets there in time as Levi Wagner there with the call. So a stolen base by Carson Haney. Luke Wheatley didn't even think about it for the double steal. And not even a slight delay by Duncan to think about the third base runner, Luke Wheatley. So 1-1, runners at now third and second for Lethbridge, 0 outs. Sylvan Lake quickly in a little bit of a hole here in the third, looking to get out of it. Tetsu Nishida at the plate. And a nice pitch there by Hammerling. Has him chasing after it. Breaking away from the batter. 1-2. Lethbridge, meanwhile, they didn't have the strongest finish to their season either. 5-5 in their last 10. Coming into this postseason, 33-23 record. So a good record on paper. Plus 28 scoring differential. Out of the 4 teams in the West that made the playoffs, Lethbridge has given up the most runs at 399. And a great pitch by Hammerling. Back-to-back pitches that just sail away from Tetsu Nishida for out number 1 and the 4th strikeout of the game. That pitch is working for Hammerling. So back to the top of the batting order, Jalen Ryan now. And Hammerling kind of starts it at the beginning. He'll start it inside, and it'll kind of cross over the middle of the plate by the time it gets there, and then he slowly works it away from the hitter to give him that same look, but different at the same time. And he catches the outside corner on that one. May have got a little bit of a favorable call on that with Eli Duncan's frame, but Duncan did a great job framing that pitch. Now an 0-2 count here to Jalen Ryan. 1 away. And he comes in with a fastball up high and outside. Just missing 1-2. 89 miles per hour pitch there. I like that call. That's a great idea because they've been seeing a lot of your off speed, a lot of that same pitch that just breaks away from the hitter. And then he comes in with a straight one. And then that one just catches a piece of Jalen Ryan's bat. And Hammerling asks for a time as his glasses are getting a little fogged up. Maybe a little sweat dripping down. Starting to break a little sweat in this game. Getting close to 50 pitches on the night now. He's currently at 45. This is the most he's had to work. Ball hit well. High left field. Michael Quick settling underneath it. He'll make the catch, but that will drive in a run. The first run of this series will go to the Lethbridge Bulls. A sacrifice flyout RBI for Jalen Ryan. So the Bulls on the road get on the board first and early. And Carson Haney has now advanced since over to third with his brother Caleb Haney, the Rock, in this lineup at the plate. He flew out to left field to Michael Quick his last at bat. But really cool stuff that he kind of did his own thing in the last game of the regular season against Brooks. He got to play every single position in every single inning. And I guess the hardest position he played was the catching position. That's what he found to be the hardest. Definitely hardest on the body. I could totally understand and get that. I mean, these catchers, I don't know how they do it on a nightly basis. It's not easy on the knees or the hips or any of the joints, really. And now a 3-0 count to Caleb Haney, a lefty, which Hammerling definitely is more favored against the right-handed hitters. And it's a walk. Second walk of the inning. So that'll prompt a little meeting on the mound here. Matt Hape going to come out, have a chat with his pitcher, kind of settle things down here as runners are now on the corner with 2 down. Bulls just recently going up by 1-0 over the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Just the one hit given up by Reese Hammerling. And he's going through some fundamentals here with Matt Hape on the mound. And that's something that I love about Matt Hape and what he can do with his pitching staff is if he's seeing something, he's going to come out and he's going to let his pitcher know, okay, man, hey, you notice that maybe your body's over-rotating. Maybe you're not quite following through properly. Maybe even your footing isn't quite right. Anything like that can sometimes help a pitcher kind of get back to being locked in. And I think Matt Hape has done a really good job with doing exactly that. There's been a couple times where he comes out to the mound, he expresses what he sees from the dugout, and then it changes things for the pitcher, and they work on it. And next thing you know, they're finding the zone, they're getting the strikeouts. I mean, Hammerling, there's never been an issue that he hasn't been finding the zone. That's just his second walk on the night to a dangerous hitter. But it's a left-handed hitter at the same time, too. And so sometimes that just can throw you off a little bit when you're more favored on the right-handed hitters. So Cardell Dick back in the batter's box. He struck out his last at-bat as Hammerling had his number. And Dick fouls it off. Cardell Dick had a great season for the Lethbridge Bulls, though. 333 average, 18 RBIs, 3 homers, 19 hits. Came around to score 13 times himself in 57 at-bats. Just 15 games is what he's had over the course of the summer. And he pops this again to foul territory, but this is going to get out and just land right off the trailer of our producers at Green Onion Meat. It took a one-hopper right off the trailer. How's the ears, guys? I'm sure that probably was a little bit of a loud bang. Yeah, and they just told me I'm supposed to tell them before, not after. So sorry, guys. I know I should have maybe given you a little bit more of a heads up on that one so you could brace for the impact. 1-2 to Cardell Dick. A little toss over to Caleb Haney at first to check him with Coleman Perry. The Haney brothers are on base, though, as Luke Wheatley has come in to score for the Bulls. Bulls looking to keep a 2-out rally alive. Hammerling looking to close it out. And the runner is going, but they're going to let him steal it. A great fake by Eli Duncan as Haney was trying to draw the throw. Great catch there by Eli Duncan, not to throw it. Trying to draw that double steal. So an even count. Cardell Dick, 2 down. And he fouls it off yet again. Jordan Monroe on deck should this inning continue. Bulls up 1-0 over the Sylvan Lake Gulls with runners in scoring position. Threatening yet again with an even count. And this hit on the ground, just foul. Just foul. That literally could not have missed much more than that. It just missed and went left of the third base. But John Boy Rittenhouse was there just anyways, just in case, and he made the throw still. And it would have been in time. So in a sense, luckily for Lethbridge, that was foul. This inning continues for them for now. John Boy Rittenhouse, there he is over at third with the war paint and the flashy shades on the hat. That guy is ready to go to war, I think, with this team in the postseason. Count remains even. Ball hit on the ground. Flores lets it hop a couple times. Then he'll get the arm on it and get it over in time for out number 3. So the Gulls end this inning with no more runs to come in to score, but the one base hit for the Bulls does end up coming in to score. It is 1-0 Lethbridge.
Hey baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archive game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus the WCBL report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today.
Well, Shea McTavish has been solid so far to start this game for the Lethbridge Bulls, giving them a great chance early on in this series as they now lead 1-0 over the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Back-to-back 3-up, 3-down innings. Sylvan Lake looking to change that with Maddox Shaver, Eli Duncan, and Dom Giusti coming to the plate. Maddox Shaver, the second baseman, and he is, definitely put a little bit of ripple in the lake waves here in Sylvan as he has had himself a pretty solid year. .336 batting average on the regular season, a .464 on base percentage, 47 runs, 10 homers, and 16 stolen bases. And he pops this straight up. That's been kind of the storyline as it stays in, and it's going to be caught by Cardell Dick. I don't know what it is about these pitches with Shea McTavish, but pretty much almost every single goal except two now have popped him straight up in the air. So there's some kind of spin, some kind of movement on that ball that's got the Gulls cutting underneath of it. And, too, obviously, the Gulls offense has been so good as of late. Sometimes when you're going so good, you get that confidence early on, and then you're starting to almost overpower the ball. You're starting to try to cut under it even more so to lift it further and further. And sometimes when you're trying that hard, that can happen. So you almost got to wonder, too, postseason ball, is Sylvan Lake's bats, are they early on, are they just trying a little too much? Are they trying to, really send them a long way, cutting underneath of every ball? So Eli Duncan, 0-1. He is at the plate now with Dom Giusti to round out the order. He's on deck. Gulls just need somebody to put contact on it. Find a hole, find a gap. Luke Wheatley just finished tying his shoe. I don't know if he was even ready for that last pitch. He was still kind of on one knee there. Over at the shortstop position. And swing and a miss, 1-2 on Giusti. Dom Giusti coming into today's game after a couple days off, thanks to Hunter Durr filling in the catching role and just giving these guys a little bit of a break as it is hard on the body. But he was hitting really good at the end of the season. .336 average, 23 RBIs, 39 hits. 3 homers. My apologies. I meant to say Eli Duncan. I must have said Giusti. My producer corrected me. Thanks, guys. Sorry, I thought I said Duncan this whole time. See, that's what happens. Giusti on deck. Duncan, though, has been hitting well. And he hits a pretty good ball, but it's going to get caught in right field to Jordan Monroe as he only took a few steps to his left on that line drive. So, again, balls are going straight to the Lethbridge Bulls defense. And it's been pretty easy work for them. It's been a great start for Lethbridge. Dom Giusti looking to change things up here. the juice man at the plate. Two down, Juicy looking to keep the inning alive. And he will. First base hit of the night for the Sylvan Lake Gulls will be credited to Dom Juicy, getting things going. He's been a guy that has definitely been showing some really good signs late in the season of his bat getting to go. And he's got it going. That is huge for Sylvan Lake. Now they can kind of put some things together. The 2-out rally is on. Jaden Flores now at the plate. He flew out to center his last at bat. That's inside for a ball. 1-0. Well, the hit is out of the way now for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. They can kind of breathe a little bit and build on it. Ball swung on and popped up to shallow center field yet again. This time it'll be Tetsu Nishida that will come in to make the catch for the third and final out. But Dom Juicy did get a base hit. No runs come to score. It's 1-0 Bulls after 3 completed. There's Reese Hammerling in for his 4th inning of work. Welcome back to Gulls Baseball right here on Flow College, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. Great to have you tuning in wherever you may be watching from, whether it's across Canada, down in the States, overseas in Australia, wherever it may be, you're tuned in to Gulls Baseball, postseason baseball that is, right here on Flow College. You could be even on holidays for all we know and watching this game. We appreciate it as always, as it has been a good game so far to start this 2026 postseason. The Bulls up 1-0 over the Sylvan Lake Gulls in the top of 4. And this is Jordan Monroe to lead things off, who grounded out to second his last at bat. He's quickly down in the count, 0-2. And looking at some of the Bulls' reactions, they're not really a fan of some of the calls that have been going their way lately on at the plate. So an 0-2 count, 4 strikeouts already on the night for Hammerling. And this is hit into left field. A nice little looper opposite field hit. Michael Quick will come over to grab it and throw it in quickly, but a base hit. A leadoff single for Jordan Monroe. So the Bulls offense starting to crack this defense. Meanwhile, their defense has not shown a glimpse of anything for Sylvan Lake's batters. So Xander Meisner, he struck out his last at bat. Of course, the Lethbridge Bulls want to do a repeat of what they did in 2021, the last time they won the Western Canadian Baseball League Harry Hollis Memorial Trophy. They have yet to get past the Gulls since then, though, as the Gulls, as I mentioned in the pregame show, swept them both times in 2023 and 2025 this last year. Xander Meisner at the plate. He's hit .306 on the season as an average, 16 RBIs, 4 homers. And that just missed. A little low. Definitely had Mike Richards taking a second look at it. 2-2 count. It was a close take for Meisner with a base hit over that led things off here in the fourth. That's Monroe over at first right now. And Meisner lifts this into left field. Michael Quick waits for it and will make the catch for the first out. So that ball just sailed right into the glove of Michael Quick. Off the end of the bat, opposite field, and he makes no mistake. That'll bring up Will Turner, who struck out in the second inning, his last at bat. Runner at first. 2 hits for the Bulls in this game. Be interested to see what the Sylvan Lake Gulls do out of the bullpen after Hammerling, what they plan on doing here in game 1, of course, because you got to get ready for game 2 down in Lethbridge tomorrow night. Same time, different place, 7 o'clock first pitch, just after, I should say, 7 p.m. And then if game 3 is necessary, we will come back here to Gulls Field on Sunday night at 7:05 first pitch. 1-2 count. And it's crazy with a 3-game series how quickly one game can just shift the series entirely. If Lethbridge wins this game tonight, they got a lot of momentum going into and now it's like technically a home field advantage for them to have a chance to win it. So it's kind of pressure on both sides. Sylvan Lake obviously wants to get this win out of the way in game 1. Meanwhile, Lethbridge, they sneak away with a win in Sylvan. They go home with a chance to end it. And this ball hit on the ground in the middle, right to center field, as that is a nice little line drive for another base hit by the Bulls. That landing just in front of Dom Giusti. Will Turner with the base hit. Soft contact, but the Bulls are putting it in play. So that'll bring up Luke Wheatley with runners at first and second. Double play is on right now. It is in play. And I feel like that could be a play that the Gulls could just use right now to kind of maybe turn the tides, get a little momentum, especially carrying into the offense. You see that from time and time again, how defensively a big play is made and then it just transfers into the bats and that momentum keeps rolling. Hammerling, though, says, I want to take care of business all by myself. 0-2 count to Luke Wheatley, who he walked his last at bat. We'll also get a out-of-town scoreboard update for you folks as well around the WCBL. 3 other games, of course, the other 3 series taking place here tonight. One in Okotoks, one in Moose Jaw, and the other in Saskatoon. And a strikeout to Luke Wheatley. Make that 5 Ks on the night for the kid that has been doing a great job keeping those glasses contained as well. It's hard when you got the glasses. Sweat is dripping. So Carson Haney, he was the one that got the hitting parade started for the Bulls with the first hit of the ball game. And he pops his back over the stadium. Of course, the Lethbridge Bulls missing some key pieces with injuries and everything like that. Oh, and 2 count to Carson Haney. 2 down. This is a huge pitch here for Reese Emmerling. And he's got him. 6 strikeouts on the night. Couple base hits in that inning, but nothing to show for it. Sylvan Lake sits down the Bulls. They're down 1-0 heading into the bottom of the 4th when we come back. Well, Shea McTavish just has given up the 1 hit so far in this ball game. That came back in the 3rd inning, but otherwise, all his pitches have been popped up, and he's had something working for him that the Sylvan Lake Gulls have been scooping underneath of. So he's got Michael Quick to lead things off here in the 4th inning, the number 2, 3, 4 hitters coming to the plate in this inning. And like I said, Michael Quick, a guy that can get on base one way or the other. And that just missing. By missing, I mean missing him, as he almost got drilled there with the ball. 1-1 count to Quick. And it's been a very efficient night, too, for Shea McTavish. Just 33 pitches in over 3 innings. As he's got a 2-1 count. He's been working really well for the Lethbridge Bulls here tonight. And that's exactly what Lethbridge needed. A great start from the guy on the mound. Michael Quick works him to a 3-1 count. McTavish just with 21 walks in the summer. 43 strikeouts he comes into. This would be his 10th start technically all summer. Quick on the ground to Nishida, who will scoop it up and make the throw in time for out number 1. So if it's not pop flies, it's ground outs. And as a pitcher, you love it. Maybe you don't have to beat the hitters with the throw, because he hasn't. He hasn't even gotten 1 strikeout yet tonight, but it doesn't matter. His pitches have been placed where it's given the Gulls hitters a little bit of frustration and some challenges here in this game. So Hamill grounded out his last at-bat to that exact same spot, second base. And he takes that off the fist to foul it all the way over towards the Gulls bullpen. 0-1 count to Hamill. And the website does not show the out-of-town scoreboard, so I do apologize. I was hoping to get that for you. One and one. Hamill pops it up yet again. Easy catch made for Luke Wheatley. Out 2. So a little bit of a quiet start with the bats for the Sylvan Lake Gulls here, and that hasn't happened in a very, very long time. Not quite the time you want the bats to go quiet, that's for sure, but it is in great part due to that man on the mound and that man standing on your screen, the shortstop, Luke Wheatley. Usually it's Jack Wheatley over at shortstop, but I'm assuming Jack might be maybe dealing with potential injury. So Luke Wheatley fills in. And this is John Boy Rittenhouse with 2 down. Hits this opposite field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. John Boy Rittenhouse breaking the schneid here in this game for himself. Drives in on a base hit just like that. 2 out. Charlie Collins coming to the plate. Gulls looking to get a 2-out rally going. And that hits Collins. So for the first time tonight, the Sylvan Lake Gulls got 2 runners on now. And runner is in scoring position. With one of the fan favorites, Coleman Perry, coming up to bat. Perry, a 304, 31 RBIs, 7 homers. And he went basically copy and paste from what Charlie Collins did on Tuesday night. It was hit, and then he'd hit. And then this hits right back to the pitcher, and Shea McTavish will field it himself and just toss it over to first in time for out number 3. So a 2-out rally that falls a little short, but the 1 base hit happens for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. The Bulls still lead at 1-0 over Sylvan Lake after 4 complete. Well, Reese Emmerling still giving his team a fighting chance here in this ball game, just down 1-0 to the Lethbridge Bulls, but 77 pitches. He's starting to get up there a little bit, but so far has put 4 innings of work together real nicely, and this will be his 5th inning of work that he's going to face. And Lethbridge will send the bottom of the batting order first, Tetsu Nishida, to lead things off, who struck out back in the 3rd inning. That was his last at bat. But Hammerlings look good tonight. You know, you can't fault him for anything. 3 base hits have now been recorded on him, and just 2 walks, but otherwise he's got 6 Ks on that fence. He's been pitching a really good game so far and hasn't given the Lethbridge Bulls much. That off-speed just floats in there nicely. Nishida can't even get any contact on it, 1-2. And another strikeout to Nishida for strikeout number 7 on the night for Hammerling. How about it? That is a good pitch. And it's not far out either. It's enough to make the guys want to swing at it. So back to the top of the order we go. Jalen Ryan had that sacrifice RBI flyout, but otherwise he's 0 for 2 on the night. And Ryan amongst the leading hitters for this team. I mean, he came in late. He's only got 8 games under his belt. He's one of those late additions in the season. 28 at-bats, but he was hitting .500 coming into the postseason. And his on-base percentage was .561. He had 1 home run and 8 RBIs. So Lethbridge kind of hiding some weapons late in the season as Hammerling can't scoop it up. A playable ball, but he just took his eyes off of it at the last second. That would have been 2 away just like that. It's first error of the night, and it goes to, unfortunately, the guy that's been having a really good night in Reese Hammerling, but he just tries to pick that up with the end of his glove. And it goes off the tip. So Ryan gets over to first on an error. That'll bring up Caleb Haney, who walked back in the 3rd and flew out in the 1st. You're not going to be able to keep this guy quiet for much longer, that's for sure. As Caleb Haney's hit .335 average, 41 RBIs, 4 homers, 61 hits, and 51 runs scored. Oh, 0-1. And he had a home run one of the last times that these two teams played against each other. It was a solo shot over the right field wall when things weren't really going at all in the way of the Bulls. Haney still had himself a night at the dish. Fouls this off. A little bit of a loud strike into the Gulls bullpen. There's some guys in the bullpen right there that you can see maybe a potential to come in this game. You got Trent Chavez there. Braden Stewart, I think, is also in there somewhere. 0-2. And they're going to just check Ryan over at first. But yeah, the Bulls definitely missing Jack Wheatley, one of their all-stars from this season, not in the lineup. That rides inside, 1-2 to Caleb Haney, third baseman. Led this team with home runs at 4, led this team with RBIs at 41. Had a .474 on base percentage, 51 runs, And he strikes out there. Great pitch by Hammerling to sit down one of the most dangerous hitters for the Bulls. So that'll bring up Cardell Dick, who had a .426 on-base percentage in the regular season, and he had 21 RBIs himself. Cardell Dick from Abbotsford, BC, goes to the University of Nebraska, Omaha. 2 down. Runner still at first. That's the error. This inning would be over if, unfortunately, Reese Hammerling could just field it a little bit cleaner on that last play, but he comes back and he recovers well. He redeems himself with a nice strikeout on Caleb Haney. Now 2 down. And that pitch missed. Thought that was going to maybe be called. It looked like it was over the plate. Cardell Dick, the catcher. He's 0 for 2, struck out and then grounded out. And he's up in the count, 2-0. Big deep breath there. There, Hammerling comes away with the outside corner. Nice pitch there, a fastball, 86 mile per hour. But not a lot being given up, obviously, and this is going to be a close game, and I feel like it's going to be a very close series as well, right to the bitter end. Hammerling now 2-2. Already with a couple Ks in this inning. Oh, that throw a little away. Coleman Perry kind of ended up diving over top of Jalen Ryan just to make that catch. But good job by Perry to keep that in. Hammerling's night maybe getting close to an end here, as he is upwards of 93 pitches now on the night. So I got to keep my eye on the bullpen. Nothing happening just yet for Sylvan Lake, but you got to wonder when that arm starts to throw 100, when are they going to start getting somebody else ready to come in? No call yet, though. Even count, 2-2, 2 down. Hammerling outside for ball 3, full count. Not as efficient as Shea McTavish's throws, but still a good night of work. He's been busy, but he's been doing quite a great job so far. And that's fouled off as well. Well, Lethbridge was definitely one of those teams, you know, when he came into the season, they honestly looked like they were maybe the favorite to go all the way, to go the distance this year. They had Carter Clare out. They had a lot of, you know, brother chemistry on the team as this fouled off again. And it just looked like the pieces were there for the Lethbridge Bulls, and they really were. The first few weeks, they came out on top. They were on fire. They were the leading team in the league, leading the West Division, and it wasn't even close. And then I don't know what it was, if, you know, June kind of ended and Clarehout got signed a pro deal and some guys may have gotten injured, and then just wheels fell off. But how about that catch down the third baseline? John Boy Rittenhouse on the hot corner with the hot glove. A catch that doesn't get any better and timely than that. Wow. Gulls coming to bat in the bottom of 5. wild to think that when you look at the pitch count between these two pitchers, the starting pitchers between the Lethbridge Bulls and the Sylvan Lake Gulls, it's cut in half. Shea McTavish with only 43 pitches on the night. Meanwhile, Reese Hemmerling on the Sylvan Lake Gulls is at 100 almost. So he's literally thrown half the pitches that Hemmerling's done, and he's done a great job just giving up 2 hits. The Gulls have yet to score a run. It's 1-0 Bulls still hanging on to the narrowest leads in a ball game that you could have. So Maddox Shaver, he popped up behind home plate for Cardell Dick to make the catch for his only at bat, first out. 0-1 count here to Shaver now. Duncan Giusti on deck to round out the order in this bottom half of the inning. And we ended up seeing some signs. In fact, he could just 2 rows up and right side of the screen, those ladies there, just beside them actually, there were some signs that some fans had in the stands. They're not showing them right now, of course, but in between innings, I saw them holding them up. 1-2 count here to Shaver. Belleville, Ontario product, and he takes that up high to even the count inside. Sylvan Lake, I was talking about, maybe a defensive play that they needed just to kind of get the momentum going, and you wonder if that grab at third, the line drive by John Boy Rittenhouse, could be a turning point in this game. And Shaver hits it pretty good. Left field, going over the wall, over the head, I should say, of Will Turner, and there it is. A double by Maddox Shaver. A well-hit ball, barrel on ball as well, and Turner just, all he could do was turn around and wait for it to come back to him off the wall. So that kind of energized some life here in this stadium. You could start to hear a little bit of a buzz now. That'll bring up Eli Duncan. He flew out to right field his last at-bat. Sylvan Lake with a runner in scoring position with 0 outs. The first time that they've gotten into scoring position and not had to worry about a 2-out rally. It's been a lot of, the base hits have all come on a 2-out rally. This is hit now on the ground over to Luke Wheatley, who makes the throw, and a good scoop there by Xander Meisner, stretching out to make the play for the first out. So that'll bring up Dom Giusti. And then back to the top of the order we go. So Giusti, he got things going. Got the Gulls' first base hit of the ball game. 1 for 1 on the night. But again, it was a 2-out. He was facing a 2-out count. And he only got to first before that inning came to a close. And that ball gets past. Cardell Dick, the first little maybe glimpse of mistake that the whole defense as a whole made for the Lethbridge Bulls here tonight. They've been absolutely perfect up until this point. And now just like that, Maddox Shaver is over at third, 90 feet away from tying this ball game. Infield playing in. Giusti pops it back. 1-1. As the infield comes in now to try to take away any ground balls and keep, obviously, you see it there on your screen, got to keep Maddox Shaver close over at third. And that misses. So for the first time of the night, the Bulls in a little bit of a situation here where the Gulls are pressing. And Giusti takes that. 2-2. That's grounded foul down the third baseline. And I just got an out-of-town scoreboard update from my producer Calvin in the truck. He said 2 minutes ago on Okotoks' X, they were up 7-4, top of 3 over Energy City. So that's already a high-scoring game. And Giusti is fighting this one off to stay alive. An even count, 2-2 with runner at third. Giusti looking to drive in the tie-and run right now here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. It has been the opposite here in Sylvan Lake. It's been a low-scoring affair, just 1 run, 3 hits aside. Sylvan Lake 1 away with a runner at third looking to tie it. Tom Giusti at the plate. And that's down into the turf. Full count now. Great at bat here for Dom Giusti. Ball swung on, pop back yet again. Starting to bring that pitch count up on Shea McTavish, who's had a great start and a efficient start at that. This is probably the most he's kind of had to work, really, in a sense. Last inning was a little longer as well, but he's definitely working more and more. And Giusti hits this high and foul. Into the bullpen it goes, where there's absolutely no Bulls to be seen. Go figure. A bullpen with no Bulls. Empty. They're liking what they're seeing from number 24 on the mound right now. But maybe Giusti might spring some action in the bullpen with 1 swing. And that, or just a one that he watches go by to get on base with a walk. A great, great at-bat by Dom Giusti. Great patience. That is absolute clutch and key in a situation like a game like this one. So let's bring up Jaden Flores, who is 0 for 2, popped up both times. 1 away. Obviously the infield has now backed off a little bit. Flores just misses on that one. A 90-mile-per-hour fastball comes inside. Michael Quick is on deck. And then the meat of the order, which the Bulls do not want to see. And that hits Flores. Oh my. With 1 away, bases just like that are now loaded. And I think maybe we'll start to see some action speed up over towards the bullpen side of things for the Bulls. Michael Quick at the dish with 1 away, and a meeting on the mound will take place here between the assistant coach, Josh Bergman, or this could be Miles Fletcher, not really sure. It's definitely not Carl Lindick. I know what Carl Lindick looks like. He's in the dugout. But a great A opportunity here now for Sylvan Lake to not only tie it, but even maybe go up in this game for the first time. But when a night that hasn't been going their way a lot yet with the offense is starting to show signs of hope here. We know Michael Quick can get on base, whether he hits the ball or he gets hit or he takes a walk. He's not an easy out at the plate. A .402 on base percentage coming into today's game. And he's got 10 stolen bases as well. Watches that one go by outside for a ball. Quick averaging at .260 on the season with 16 RBIs himself. And that one just missing outside, up high. So clearly Shea McTavish is trying to catch that upstairs outside corner on Michael Quick. It's just not quite there. Bases loaded, 1 away. Sylvan Lake down 1-0 to the Bulls. And Quick takes that all the way. Makes him have to throw a strike. And sometimes that you see that with these guys, right? You see a pitcher, he can't find the strike zone. He throws, 6, 7 consecutive balls. So you're not going to swing at one until you see one actually find the zone. And they're just going to hold everybody there as that doesn't quite get far enough away from Cardell Dick. So a 3-1 count to Quick here. He's in the driver's seat right now. We talked about how he can get on base. He's not afraid to take a walk, and if he walks in a tie and run, he'll take that all day, every day with a 3-1 count. And it will be. That game is tied. Michael Quick walks in the tie and run. Maddox Shaver. And Elijah Hamill with bases loaded. That is such a dangerous recipe to put with this guy and John Boy Rittenhouse and then Charlie Collins, the next scheduled batters, in a situation like this. So this game could open up. Sylvan Lake Gulls could very well take their first lead here in this inning. Hamill thought about it too. He wanted to, but there's another ball. So there is some action in the bullpen now over in the Lethbridge Bulls side of things, as there is number 17 looking like it's going to be a Rory McDonald getting ready. After a very efficient night for Shea McTavish, Hamill turned on it, but it goes foul. It went a long ways, but it was just a little too far right. And that is a loud strike if you're the Lethbridge Bulls. A very loud strike. 1-1. And that misses. 2-1. Bases loaded, 1 away. Gulls and Bulls tied 1-1. 3 hits aside. Just the 1 error, and that's credited to the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And that's inside, but catches the zone. Even in the count 2-2, Hamill looks back and is like, really? Okay. That's the zone. Now I got an idea on it. Hamill fouled it back. The off speed had him kind of chasing that one a little bit, fighting it off. It was dropping inside, and he just had to hold back enough to get a piece of it. I don't think he was reading an off speed coming his way there. John Boy Rittenhouse is on deck. And that's up high inside on Hamill as he just dodges and gets out of the way of that in time. So a full count yet again. Let's take a look at it. That did not miss by much. So Shea McTavish starting to show some signs of fatigue maybe in this game. Now at 73 pitches and literally was only at 40 coming into this inning. He's been busy. And a time called by Cardell Dick, the catcher for the Lethbridge Bulls. So he's going to just calm things down here with Shea McTavish. Full count and 1 down. And McTavish was working the counts well all night long, and you can start to see a little bit of maybe worry and things coming into play now with such a situation that he's found himself in. Coming into this inning, just was upwards of just maybe the mid 40s, lower to mid 40s on the pitch count. Now he's got 73 pitches. He's thrown 30 times now. Full count to Hamill, 1 down. And he hits this down the line. That's going to drive in a couple of runs. Elijah Hamill has just gained the lead for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Welcome to the postseason. Elijah Hamill, a 2-run RBI double. Better late than never for Sylvan Lake's offense to finally find a way to crack Shea McTavish and this Bulls defense. And not only was this game tied, now it is a Gulls 3-1 lead. And that will be the night for Shea McTavish. Gave this Bulls team a great start, and rightfully so should get a round of applause by everybody here in attendance at Gulls Field. He had himself a night. He just ran into a little bit of problems. Fatigue caught up to him in the 5th. And now the Bulls send in a new pitcher. We'll take a break. We'll step aside and let him warm up. We'll be back with more Gulls baseball here at the bottom of the 5th. Welcome back to Gulls Baseball right here on Flow College, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. And this is the new pitcher, Rory McDonald, coming in relief for Shea McTavish. And unfortunately for Rory, the night doesn't get any easier. This inning doesn't get any easier. As now he's got to face John Boy Rittenhouse, who just drives in 2 more runs, because why wouldn't he? It's John Boy Rittenhouse. He is the RBI leader. He's going to 3rd. It's a 2 RBI triple for Johnny Boy Rittenhouse. Are you kidding me? John Boy just picks up from where the rest of the guys leave off and where he left off in the regular season. I was just about to mention it doesn't get any easier because John Boy Rittenhouse is the leading RBI hitter for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and point proven right there. Another 2 RBI shot back to back. This one, though, a triple. Right down the line. And now it gets past the catcher, Cardell Dick, and now John Boy comes in to score. Wow. Talk about an inning. I think the Gulls have woken up. I think it's safe to say that they are back in this game. Definitely a little bit of a slower start for Sylvan Lake, but 6 runs have come into score here in the 5th inning when before this inning it looked like nothing was going right for Sylvan Lake's offense. And they are just tackling on runs. Charlie Collins with just 1 away. Now the bases are empty. Looks to keep things going. And the appeal, they say he went around, and Collins is not really sure about that as they check down to first. Rob Allen says, yeah, he went around on it. Collins has hit a pretty good ball, but that gets caught by Will Turner at the track. A hard hit ball by Collins, a line drive, but good play there by Will Turner to get a much needed catch in this inning. So to Coleman Perry we go. He will be the 9th hitter to come to the plate in this inning. Two down. Gulls now with 5 hits to the Bulls 3. And this is the first pitching change of the night. We are seeing Rory McDonald now into this game. Right when you thought Shea McTavish was going to be the last guy to leave the game, it was kind of looking like Reese Hemmerling was going to probably be the first one to go, with his pitches getting upwards of now 100 on the night. Still not sure if we're going to see Hemmerling come back in for another inning or not, but McTavish was working so efficiently up until the 5th inning, only had 43 pitches. Perry hits this on the ground over to Caleb Haney. He'll make the long throw, and it's a dribbler, but it gets there in time for out number 3, but not before the Sylvan Lake Gulls did some damage. Elijah Hamill with a RBI double, and he's feeling it. He's so grateful, and so are the Sylvan Lake Gulls fans, but not grateful is that guy, Shea McTavish, very frustrated. Well, it was a great start for Reese Hemmerling. I mean, he absolutely came in and had a great start. 8 strikeouts on the night, and he had 97 pitches thrown. It was a great start for Reese Hemmerling. And you know what? Just kept wheeling and dealing. He had a lot of batters night numbers here tonight, and he had a lot of Ks on that fence. 8 strikeouts on the night. So Seth Mahler comes in now, and he will try to pick up from where Hemmerling left off, and he will face Jordan Monroe to lead things off, who's 1 for 2 on the night. But yeah, what a great night by the Beaumont, Alberta native in Reese Hemmerling. And the night doesn't get any easier for the Bulls, as Seth Mahler, he can throw. He's one of the top closers and relief pitchers for the Sylvan Lake Gulls this year. 41 innings, just over 41 innings of work, 30 strikeouts, 2.38 ERA is what he had in the regular season. Just giving up 11 earned runs and a 5-1 win-loss record with 2 saves. A 1-1 count. And Monroe sends this far. Barrel on ball, right field, and it's going to hop over the fence. So he's just going to get 2 here, a double for Jordan Monroe, a hard hit ball. He absolutely turned on this, and he sent it right between right center field. And one hopped over the fence. So that'll bring up Xander Meisner. So the Bulls now looking to respond in a big, big way after being up 1-0. Meisner 0 for 2 on the night. A little bit more of a buzz here in the crowd now. Sylvan Lake finally finding the offense in this game. A 1-1 count to Meisner. Will Turner on deck. Meisner fouls that back to the dugout. A 6-run inning in the bottom of the 5th for Sylvan Lake was huge for the Lake boys in this home crowd in Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinal. 1-2, and that is taken all the way on the outside for ball 2, even count. Meisner from Parker, Colorado, goes to Bethany Lutheran College in Minnesota. And a swing and a miss. First strikeout of the night for Mahler. So that'll bring up Will Turner, who's 1 for 2. He had a base hit back in the 4th inning, struck out in the 2nd. And that 78-mile-per-hour pitch had him. Will Turner from Calgary, Alberta, just down the road. Went to Prairie Baseball Academy. And a leadoff double by Jordan Monroe, still standing over at second right now. That was exactly the response that the Lethbridge Bulls needed after giving up 6 in an inning. And Will Turner just trying to keep things going here. 0-2, and that has Turner thinking about it. You know, I'm really excited to see in this postseason the different series and what is going to be close. I honestly think every series is going to be really close in this first round. I really do. But definitely in the East. I mean, all year long, that Eastern Division was just up in the air. I mean, Moose Jaw and Saskatoon, and there's a strikeout to Will Turner. Second K on the night for Mahler. As we take a look at this pitch again, a little off speed, drops in there, nice pitch again. But Moose Jaw obviously led the charge all season long. And Saskatoon followed suit. And then the bottom 4 teams were fighting for their lives to just get postseason baseball. And so because I think they played that fighting for their lives mentality, that desperate mentality late in the season, they're going to be bringing it to those 2 top teams in the East. And right now, the 2 lower seed teams are beating the top seed teams right now in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinal. Medicine Hat is up 8-7 over Moose Jaw in the bottom of 5th, and Regina's up 3-1 over Saskatoon in the bottom of 7. So that's going to make things very interesting. As this ground is hit on the ground, Maddox Shaper will scoop it up, throw it over to Coleman Perry, comes down, and he will take his base after giving Shaver a little look there after the throw. But Mahler, couple strikeouts back-to-back, gets the job done, picks up from where Hemmerling left off. Gulls coming to bat. Here's Rory McDonald since coming in. 1/3 in that last inning. He'll get a full inning here with Maddox Shaver, the same guy that led the inning or led things off in the last inning. Started with a leadoff double, and then the Gulls got the Pats going from there. Dom Juicy got on with a walk. Flores got on with a walk. Quick got on with a walk. And then the Bats came alive when they needed to. At the most critical time in the game and bases loaded, he had the meat of the order. Bring everybody home and clear the bases. And Elijah Hamill, John Boy Rittenhouse, both with 2 RBI. One with an RBI double, Rittenhouse with an RBI triple. Crazy, crazy stuff here we have seen in this first game as this ball has popped up to center field. It's dropping, but getting there in time was Jalen Ryan. Took him a little bit of a delay to get on his horse to get to that ball, but he did finally realize that no, that ball isn't as hit hard as I thought it was. It dropped a lot sooner. But I was watching his reaction, and he kind of stood out there for a second, and then he realized, oh no, I gotta start running towards the infield to grab that ball. So good catch by Ryan for out number 1. Now Eli Duncan, he's 0 for 2, takes a big cut at that one. Duncan down 0-2 now. Medicine Hat has now since added another run, now up 9-7 over Moose Jaw. Regina, the Saskatoon Berries actually in the bottom of the 7th have closed in on the gap. It was 3-1 Regina, now it's 3-2. And Okotoks is doing what Okotoks does. And they're doubled up on the Energy City Cactus Rats right now, 10-5 in the top of the 5th, according to my out-of-town scoreboard here on the league website. So 1-2 count to Duncan now. Redwood City, California, and he hits it high. Pop fly ball to left field. Will Turner settling underneath of it, and will make the grab for out number 2. To the bottom of the batting order we go. Dom Juicy, the juice man, who came around to score in that last at-bat, got on with a walk and then a base hit in the 30s. He has been definitely somebody that has stood out to me when nothing has been going right for the Gulls. He got the first base hit for the Gulls, and then he got on base when it mattered. So he's had some good at-bats and plate appearances so far here tonight. Watches that pitch come in for a ball. Kind of a similar pitch than the last one. Or that time, this one catches the corner. 2-2 count to Dom Juicy, who was the Defensive Player of the Year for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And he watches that one come in, and they're coming inside on him quite a bit. This is, of course, Rory McDonald now, who's come in for Shea McTavish in relief, and that's a lot of pitches he likes to throw inside on the right-handed hitter. Now a full count, 2 down. And it's a walk. Juicy, 3 for 3 for getting on base tonight. Great eye at the plate. He's seeing it well tonight. And so that'll keep the inning alive for now with 2 outs. Jaden Flores to the top of the order. He's 0 for 2 on the night. Flores this regular season was hitting .319 as an average, and he had a .479 on base percentage as well. And he hits this hard, deep center field, going all the way back, and it's off the glove. Jumping at the wall, a run comes in to score. That's Dom Juicy. It's an RBI double. That was a well-hit ball as far as you can possibly go in this ballpark, and it still stay in. And what a great attempt by Jalen Ryan. He jumped up for that ball and went right through the tip of his glove. He was that close to robbing the Gulls from a run to score. Oh, 0-1 to Michael Quick. 2 down now with runner at second. Jaden Flores just recently with an RBI double as he hit it straight away to center field. That landed off the tip of the glove at the 400 mark. I don't think it would have cleared the fence, but Jalen Ryan had to make a jump at the wall to get his glove on it, and it would have definitely probably hit that 400 right on the numbers. Couldn't have gone any further and stayed in this ballpark. 0-2 to Quick now. And he'll watch that one go by for a ball. 1-2. Gulls now up 7-1 over the Bulls in what was a low-scoring affair for 4.5 innings. Quick line drive into right field. Flores turning third. He's coming home. And he'll get there with nothing but time. An RBI single for Michael Quick. And we knew what Michael Quick did last year in the postseason. He was definitely one of the players that the Sylvan Lake Gulls had going on a nightly basis. And he gets himself his first RBI of the postseason. So Elijah Hamill back at the plate after having a 2 RBI double in the 5th that really opened things up. looking to keep the 2-out rally going. Gulls up 8-1. And by the way, there will be no mercy rule in the postseason either. And if it is extra innings needed, there will be no runner at second either as well. So they're just going to be playing true baseball. As a great catch here by the catcher in Cardell Dick. It hopped away on him, and then he found it in midair. So Michael Quick took off, and a great recovery by Dick to find it and then throw it down in time to catch him for out number 3. That'll bring the inning to a close. Gulls add 2 more runs. They go up 8-1, and now we will stay here, and we want to hand things over for a special announcement and presentation. This is our PA announcer, Joe Whitbread.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the past 6 seasons here at Gulls Field, since inception, the Gulls have been blessed with great staff members behind the scenes, upstairs, downstairs, on our media broadcasts, and in the dugout. It gives us great pleasure tonight to introduce you to someone very special to the Gulls organization who will be retiring after this season. I draw your attention to the dugout now as we welcome our longtime athletic therapist, Rob Manka, to tip his cap on behalf of the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Thank you for everything you've done. We appreciate you very much. Rob Manka, the longtime athletic therapist for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, will join me on Beyond the Bases following tonight's first post-game report. Thanks, Rob.
There is Seth Mahler, who is going to be on the mound for his second inning of work. Sylvan Lake now up 8-1 over the Lethbridge Bulls, and they finally cracked the Bulls defense. It was a great start by Shea McTavish. Things got away on him in the 5th inning, and Sylvan Lake took advantage of it. This is hit deep in the hole. Flores with an arm, and he sails that over the head of Coleman Perry. Wow, that kid can throw. I mean, I think that took everybody by surprise. He was running away from the play, and he still got that much leverage on the ball. I mean, we remember when he came into Sylvan Lake last year, halfway through the season at third, and he whipped a ball very similarly like that over the head of the first baseman, but he wasn't on the run, and he wasn't running away from the play. He just absolutely let the cannon go, but that will be an error, unfortunately, of Flores as he tried to make the stab at it. It was a well-hit ball there by Carson Haney. So Carson Haney will get the base hit, but an error advances him to second. And that'll bring up Tetsu Nishida. So good leading base hit for the Bulls. And Jalen Ryan is on deck. Bulls down 7 runs. Nishida 0 for 2 on the night. Struck out both times. Now a tie game in Saskatoon between the Red Sox and the Berries in 8th inning. So that's going to be a series to keep an eye on all weekend long. As Mahler pitches this down the middle, a 2-2 count now as that's fought off. Nishida was hitting .319 coming into the postseason for the The Lethbridge Bulls with 8 RBIs. Didn't have a home run, but he had 22 hits and 15 runs come in to score. Now it's a full count to Nishida. He's also a Calgary, Alberta born. That's a full count. This ball hit well to center field. Dom Giusti goes to grab it, makes the catch, and he'll throw it in hard, but the runner will advance to third. That is Carson Haney now, threatening yet again with just one away. Great catch out in center field by the defensive player of the year and Dom Giusti. Seth Mahler on the mound still for the Gulls. A good pitch there by Mahler. 0-1 starts Ryan off with a strike. An even better pitch on the second one as he gets him to chase after it with a little breaker. 81 mile per hour, off speed. Now, if you're Sylvan Lake and you're Matt Hape, obviously you're happy with the way they battled back into this game and then have just opened up the doors with the offense. But this ball hit on the ground as Flores will scoop it up, and the run comes in to score, and the runner gets over safely at first as Flores had to run a long ways to get onto that ball. And Ryan's pretty fast over there at first. Let's take a look at it again. It kind of was a dribbler. Hit off the bat, and yeah, it was a slow-moving ball, Flores, and he just could not quite get there in time. So a RBI single for Jalen Ryan. And the Bulls, for the first time since the third inning, add a run on the board to bring it 8-2. One down, Haney at the dish. Fouled into the field just to the east of us here at Gulls Field at Pagato Park, Sylvan Lake, Alberta. Ball hit on the ground. John Boy Rittenhouse throws it to second. Shaver trying to turn it, but that was a hot throw by John Boy Rittenhouse, and he's even saying to himself, hey man, sorry, that's me. I threw an absolute dart into your glove, and it was not as easy for Shaver to handle to then try and turn a double play on, but they do get the leading runner over at second. Great play there by John Boy nonetheless, and he's got some laughs with the guys on the infield. So Haney gets on base due to a fielder's choice. That'll bring up Cardell Deck. He's 0 for 3 on the night. Popped up to the third baseman in the fifth, grounded out to shortstop in the third, and struck out in the first. Cardell Deck had 21 RBIs with the Bulls this regular season. And he hits this right back to the mound where Mahler will field it and toss it underhand over to Perry in time for out number 3. But the Bulls do add one with a couple base hits. It's now an 8-2 ball game. It's the 7th inning stretch when we come back. You're watching Gulls baseball. It's an 8-2 lead for the Sylvan Lake Gulls in the bottom half of the 7th inning as we are just getting underway here in this portion of the game, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Bulls. The third pitching change we will see on the night for the Lethbridge Bulls. That's number 34, Cody Graff from Lloydminster, Alberta, goes to the University of Arkansas. And he will face a hard batter, Elijah Hamill, who finished that last inning at the dish, but obviously Michael Quick thrown out at second. That allowed Hamill to stay in the box, so he'll be leading things off here in this inning. Hamill with a couple RBIs already in this game. And this is a point too in the season where you're good to see like guys that teams obviously have guys leave, right? Guys have to go back to their universities and colleges and things like that. Well, this is kind of also where you can see the depth in the pitching and the arms and the bullpen. And so it's going to really come down to, okay, well, what does Lethbridge have in that bullpen still after a great start from Shane McTavish? And then, you know, Rory McDonald has a couple runs scoring on him, and now you got Cody Graff trying to shut the door with, he had 14 innings of work this past summer, 6.43 ERA, 18 strikeouts, and giving up just 12 hits, but he walks Hamill to lead things off here in the 7th. Graff only walked 9 batters in the summer of the regular season. And he starts things off with a walk for Elijah Hamill. And honestly, probably not a dangerous thing to have with Elijah Hamill. You probably would rather a walk than anything else from him. But it doesn't get any easier because the meat of the order, the cleanup hitter, John Boy Rittenhouse, now at the plate. He's gone 2 for 3 at the dish. And he swings and misses the first pitch he sees. Kind of a lazy defensive swing. A little bit of a sweeper. 0-1. This time he holds back for a 1-1 count. Great crowd on this Friday night, Game 1, the Western Conference semifinals between the Gulls and the Bulls. And another kind of defensive, lazy, sweeping swing by Rittenhouse. Missing that ball 1-2. Graff's got him kind of tied up right now. Charlie Collins is on deck. And it's a strikeout to John Boy Rittenhouse. Great pitch there by Graff. Not an easy guy to have going down looking. And I mean, good frame. I'll give Cardell Dick props on that one. He framed it quite well and might have got the benefit of the call there from Mike Richards, but that was a big out that the Bulls needed. So let's bring up Charlie Collins. He's 0 for 2 on the night. This is a tough guy to kind of cool down after what he has done lately in the last little bit of the regular season. He's really put together some great at-bats. Worked his stats all the way up, obviously leading the team in batting average this regular season, 372. He had 33 RBIs, 5 home runs. That one goes foul. He had 51 hits in just 38 games. So pretty good stuff. The Gulls just with one more hit than the Bulls, though, when it comes to hits here in this game. And obviously, it took the Gulls until the 3rd inning, the bottom of the 3rd, to get their first base hit. Then the 4th to get their second base hit. And then the 5th is when they got a good chunk of their hits. And some runs came in to score. So an even count now to Collins. Hamill over at first. Coleman Perry is on deck. It's 8-2 Sylvan Lake over the Lethbridge. And the bullpen is completely empty over in Lethbridge. So I'm wondering if they're going to ride on the arm here of Cody Graff and just save the other arms for tomorrow night, because they got to set set up and redo this all over again down in Lethbridge. As Collins lifts this into right field, it's going to be playable, and it will be caught by Jordan Monroe. Made it look a little bit more adventurous than he probably needed to, as I think he wasn't expecting that ball to carry as far as it did. But nonetheless, he made the catch, and Collins has been quiet at the plate tonight, 0 for 3. So 2 down. And Coleman Perry at the dish. You look at the history between these two teams and just the 6 years of the Sylvan Lake Gulls being a franchise in this league, and they have developed quite a rivalry, and had to face each other in the postseason now 3 times. And Perry hits this off the mound, and they will field it, and Perry gets there in time. The ball missed over at first. Xander Meisner doesn't quite handle it. And that ball just hit with weak contact. Took a long time to get to any of the Bulls infielders. So it goes right off the mound. And then Tetsu Nishida tries to run on it, and then his throw is into the turf. So I'm thinking Perry's definitely going to get a base hit on that. And now Elijah Hamill advances over to third. So that'll bring up Maddox Shaver, who's got a double in this game, 1 for 3. Perry's going, and Perry, he's not very good at selling it. I'm gonna give him a little bit of a hard time. He is when he's going for a steal, you could tell he's trying to drive in Elijah Hamill from third with a double steal, because he's looking at the catcher the entire time he's running from first to second. I mean, you take a look at the replay here. Watch him. He's going, he's looking, and then he looks back to the catcher, and his face is making eye contact with Cardell Dick. Well, that's not going to fool Cardell Dick. Maybe if you look like you're genuinely trying to steal a base, you might have Dick throw. But when you're going to steal a base and you're making eye contact with the catcher the whole way, he's probably picking up on, oh, you're trying to get a Hamill home. I love the attempt, though. Love the attempt. That's been a couple times that Coleman Perry has tried to do that. And same thing, just looks at the catcher while he's trying to steal a base. So it's a 3-0 quick count to Maddox Shaver here. And you could even tell the fans, they love it too. They were giggling. You could hear some chuckles in the crowd when Coleman Perry was going down to second. But nonetheless, the kid's got a stolen base in the game, so you got to give him credit for that. 1 for 4 on the night. And Maddox Shaver takes a 4-pitch walk to load the bases. The 2-out rally continues. And that'll bring up Eli Duncan, 0 for 3.
The catcher, number 5, Eli Duncan.
And we're going to get a little meeting here on the mound. As coaching staff come out. And some more arms will make their way towards the bullpen. So Lethbridge maybe not just done yet with action over there. For a while, it looked like maybe they would try to rely on the arm of Cody Graff to go the distance the rest of this ball game. Give his team a fighting chance to get back into it. But a couple more arms go into the bullpen, and we'll see number 27 and number 20 both maybe getting loose. Caden Willard, number 20, and number 27, Brett Getz. And you know Brett Getz is one of their top guys. It's really unfortunate they don't have Lucas Huynh, who, he was just brilliant out of the bullpen for Lethbridge. He went 2-0 with 5 saves in 10 1/3 innings this year. but he's not here to pitch for them this postseason. So that's a big loss for the Bulls. If they could have had him, he would probably be in this game right now. 2 outs. Bases loaded. Sylvan Lake with a 2-out rally, looking to keep it going here. Eli Duncan at the dish. Takes the first pitch in for a called strike. Gulls out hitting the Bulls 8-6 on the night now. Duncan with a little bit of a half check swing, drives it to the pitcher, and that will be out number 3 as he makes the toss over to Xander Meisner at first. The Gulls don't get any runs in the bottom of the 7th, but they still lead 8-2 when we head into the 8th inning. Third pitching change for the Sylvan Lake Gulls will go to Trent Chavez on the mound. Kid from Arizona, and he is going to come in to close out this game with an 8-2 lead for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Mahler did a good job. 2 innings of work. He gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 2 strikeouts, and 31 pitches. So not a bad night for him either, as the Bulls looking to chip away at this lead and try to get themselves back into this game late. Jordan Monroe at the dish. He's had a night at the plate. He's gone 2 for 3, a single, a double. So pretty good night so far for him. He has not been an easy guy to face in the box. And he gets greeted with a strike. And then he hits it and turns on it right to Maddox Shaver, grounds it out, and that'll be a throw to Perry in time for out number 1. Pretty routine play, but a good pitch there by Chavez. You know, had him up high inside on the hands. He just couldn't quite get anything on it, and that one probably stung the hands as well on Jordan Monroe. So that'll bring up Xander Meisner. He's 0 for 3 on the night, had a couple strikeouts back in the 6th and the 2nd. And Trent Chavez is wasting no time in this inning. Oh, 0-2 here on Xander Meisner. And that hits the glove. Well, it will all go down again here tomorrow night, this time in Lethbridge, 7:05 pitch. But you take a look at the other games. Of course, Okotoks is hosting all 3 possible games for the postseason. And then Moose Jaw will be heading to Medhat tomorrow. I don't know why it said TBD, to be honest with you, but I would think they'd go to Medhat tomorrow night. And then Regina will host Saskatoon. But a strikeout there for Chavez, his first of the night. 2 down. Let's watch this pitch come in again, up high inside. Gets the fastball going. So that'll bring up Will Turner. It's 1 for 3 on the night. Couple Ks in his name as well. And that K fence, I tell you, it has been a night on the pitching side for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. A number of Ks keep collecting over there by the Gulls dugout and the left field berm. They have a designated K-man now, and it's actually hilarious how that all started. Just one guy came to the ballpark, decided to make some Ks, decided to throw them on the fence, and then next thing you know, it became an actual position where fans can take part in, and they get like their own little media pass as well. I literally met one of the guys that was doing it the other night, and he had literally a K-man pass to get into the ballpark. That's incredible. I love it. The fans here are great in Central Alberta. In 6 years, this fan base has really grown in Central Alberta. It's not just Sylvan Lake's team, it's Central Alberta's team. And, you know, everybody from all over, from Lacombe, Black Falls, Red Deer, Innisfail, Rocky Mountain House, come together to be here at the ballpark. And a 2-2 count now to Will Turner, the left fielder for the Bulls. Two and two down. And Turner thought about it. Good pitch there by Chavez. Duncan liked it. He liked the positioning on it, had him thinking about it. Anytime you can do that to a hitter, you're in his head, and you got him thinking things. So now a full count here to Turner. And a swing and a miss. Chavez back-to-back strikeouts on the Lethbridge Bulls, a 3-up, 3-down inning. And the Sylvan Lake Gulls stay up 8-2. A new pitcher on the mound for the Bulls. This will be the 4th pitcher they send into the game, and that's Brett Getz, who is normally one of their starters. He had 8 starts this summer for the Bulls, 2-2 win-loss record, 29.2 innings pitched, 24 strikeouts, and he gave up 21 hits and 21 runs, which 18 of them were earned. So, yeah, a guy that's coming in a relief position here right now, and Getz definitely one of their top guys, of course, with the 24 strikeouts, and he's greeted with a base hit by Dom Giusti. Have yourself a night. Giusti has gone 4 for 4 for getting on base, that is. And he's gone 2 for 2 at the plate. He's been the most consistent offensive player for the Sylvan Lake Gulls team on the night. He's playing really good. And he's made some good catches out in center field as well. Oh, he's making it tough for the EG Auctions player of the game right now, that's for sure. It's kind of one of those nights where hard to pick. There's a couple choices out there. Jaden Flores from Wiley, Texas, utility player. Top of the order we are. Gulls up 8-2, looking to add maybe a little insurance. Okay, 6 runs isn't enough to go into the top of the ninth because you just never know. I mean, the Gulls put up 6 runs in the 5th inning. If they can, so can Lethbridge. So you can't really sit back just yet, especially in playoff baseball. And Giusti is going to second for the stolen base, and they got him. A great throw by Cardell Dick. Those have been just money so far tonight for the Lethbridge Bulls. And maybe something you take with you to tomorrow, because Cardell Dick has not missed those very often, and neither has the tag out at Tetsu Nishida. So crazy things that we've been seeing here tonight. Crazy things we've been seeing in the WCBL across the scoreboard. And Flores will get on with a walk. Now I just got word in my ear that Saskatoon, after being down 3-1 to Regina, ended up defeating Regina 7-3. And it was late stages, they were down 3-1. It was like 7th inning, and then they got the bats going late in the game. So the Berries have officially taken game 1 in the Eastern Conference semifinal round. And Moose Jaw has since worked themselves back down. Mad Hat, they were down 9-7, bottom 8. Now they're up 10-9. So yeah, good for the top seeded teams to kind of battle their way back into those games. Meanwhile, it looks like Okotoks is running away with it over Energy City, up 15-5 right now. And Michael Quick at the dish. 1 for 3, RBI already in his name. 1 away here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Three and 0 count. Elijah Hamill on deck, then John Boy Rittenhouse. Quick line drive up the middle for a base hit. Sylvan Lake's got the bats going now, and they're not being slowed down just yet either. Michael Quick, the second base hit of the day. He's gone 2 for 4. He was our playoff guy last year. He was definitely one of the players to watch out for in last season's postseason. I mean, that's just what the Sylvan Lake Gulls have done all season long. They've been getting the depth up and down the lineup. You've been getting great at-bats from Dom Giusti. You've been getting timely hits from Maddox Shaver. Coleman Perry has a base hit in this game. Then John Boy Rittenhouse, Elijah Hamill, Michael Quick, and even Jaden Flores getting on base with a couple of walks and an RBI double. Like, there was really never been a weak player in this batting order or in this Gulls roster. And defensively, this is a team that has really come alive defensively as far as being a tough team to hit on. I mean, the pitching maybe isn't as strong as it has been in past seasons. They're not relying on some heavy arms all the time, but they're getting some really consecutive arms when they need it, and that's all you need. Reese Hemmerling, what a great start. 8 strikeouts. Nothing wrong with that. That's like that. Those are great numbers. He gave up 3 hits, but only the 1 run to show for it. And Hamill will take a walk with 1 away, bases loaded for at least now the 3rd or 4th time here tonight. And that's a back-to-back walks for Hamill. So another meeting on the mound here as we take a look at the beautiful field here at Gulls Field. Pagato Park. Lights are on. Sun is set. And all that's left is for this game to end to see who takes game 1 in the Western Conference semifinals between the Gulls and the Bulls. Brett Getz on the mound. Bases loaded situation. And John Boy Rittenhouse, who has been very good tonight, 2 for 4. Couple RBIs. They had a 2 RBI triple. And he loves moments like this. With bases loaded, he eats these moments up. Good take, 1-0 count. And we are seeing some razzle-dazzle from John Boy Rittenhouse. Look at those cleats. Wow. Just giving Flores a little run for his money from what Flores did last year's playoffs with the flashy shoes. And now it's John Boy Rittenhouse being the guy that's got the flash. We talked to, some of his some of his teammates up in the broadcast booth, and I asked who's got the best, style, and they definitely said John Boy. I think it was Matthew McKenzie was one of them that said John Boy's the guy that has some style to him. And look at that, the pink slide, the pink guard, and I think those are pink sparkles in the cleats. We're seeing postseason Rittenhouse right now, getting a good glimpse of it. Thought he was showy in the regular season. Well, just wait. As he hits this on the ground, the flip to second. Can they turn the double play? They can't. So that will mean a RBI will come in to score, thanks to John Boy Rittenhouse yet again with his 3rd of the night. Gets on base due to a fielder's choice. You see their play. It was not a hard hit ball. A scoop from Luke Wheatley over to Nishida, but because that ball was hit so lightly, that gave Rittenhouse a lot of time to run over to first to get there in time before the throw. A hard double play to make, that's for sure. So just the 6-4 play on that one. 2 down. And Collins, he's been quiet tonight. He's the only guy that has yet, well, sorry, I shouldn't say that. Him and Eli Duncan are the only hitters that have yet to get a base hit in this ball game. can't always be your night. And you know what? That's been the nice thing about these guys is when one guy maybe, that's been really on fire for this team as of late and has been just rolling things along. When he cools down, then other guys step up. And when they cool down, someone else steps up. It's just a continuous cycle that has been going in the right direction for the Sylvan Lake Gulls team. 1-1 count. Collins thought about it, but he lets it go by for a ball. 2-1. They appeal, and they say he did not go around. Every year has been a different year, though, when you take a look at these rosters and these teams, where their strong suits are, where their weaknesses are. And I want to personally go out on a limb and say for Sylvan Lake, they're probably one of the best infields and outfields we've seen, and some of the best batting we have seen. Two and two count, and it's a strikeout to Charlie Collins. So Brett gets out of the inning, but not before the Gulls add one more insurance marker to make it 9-2 heading into the ninth. When we come back, you're watching Gulls baseball right here on Flow College. There's Trent Chavez looking to close out this ball game to give the Gulls a 1-0 series chokehold lead over the Lethbridge Bulls with a 9-2 lead heading into the ninth. And the Bulls, it's been a night. I mean, for the hitters, it hasn't been easy on the Bulls. Even though they have put up 6 hits on the board, there's a lot of Ks on that fence, and that's in great part due to the pitching staff of the Sylvan Lake Gulls. 3 pitchers have put up that many Ks on the fence. 12 Ks between 3 pitchers, and 8 of them with the starter in Reese Hemmerling. Chavez with 2, and of course Mahler with 2. So just, you get another great start in this postseason, and what a great call by Matt Hape and the coaching staff of the Sylvan Lake Gulls on who to pick for, the opening night for the postseason. And they go with a guy that on paper, and there's another strikeout added to the list, 3 in a row for Chavez. And on paper, Reese Hemmerling, maybe his ERA isn't all that impressive, but it's not terrible either. I mean, he's had a lot of innings of work. He's the second most used pitcher for this Gulls team. And he had, coming into tonight's game, he had over 45 innings of work with a 4.17 ERA, which is not bad considering how many innings he's pitched. But, the kid is just lights out. I mean, he had 8 Ks on tonight, and of course, he had probably was the most success against this Lethbridge Bulls team. They believed in him because he's had success over Lethbridge already this year. So why not go to that arm that you can be like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to give it to him, because Bryson Leach, he's one of those guys that now they can save for tomorrow night to close things out. Or Matthew McKenzie. Or George Hobbins. You got a couple guys there that you kind of, you got a nice little foundation now with your arms in the bullpen for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Well, Chavez 0-2, and how about it? When you get on the K train, I guess you just don't get off. And Chavez now with 4 consecutive strikeouts, the Bulls down to their final out. As he strikes out Carson Haney, who has had a good night. Haney's gone 2 for 3 up until that point. Now 2 for 4. And Ishida has had no luck at the plate whatsoever. He's gone 0 for 3. Chavez looking to take care of business all by himself here in the 9th inning. And he just keeps the strikes coming. Trying to look to make it 15 Ks on the night between the Gulls pitching staff. And he doesn't get the benefit of that call, and the fans aren't happy. It was close, though. 1-1. And the Bulls are down to their final strike in Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals. It was a slow start, but the Gulls got the bats going and the arms kept rolling. Chavez, it's on the ground to Flores. Will he scoop it up? Makes the throw in time. Sylvan Lake takes Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals. 9-2 final. Sylvan Lake takes care of business with the Lethbridge Bulls, who came to play in the start of this game, and they gave them a ride for their money early on. I mean, it was a scoreless game for the first 2 innings. Bulls would add 1 in the 3rd, and then they just kind of kept Sylvan Lake quiet at the plate until the 5th inning. And then I don't know what it was. It was a leadoff double by Maddox Shaver that seemed to maybe that was the hardest hit ball that went against Shea McTavish, and then that seemed to rattle him enough that he couldn't recover after that and walked a couple batters, bases loaded, and then Hamill and Rittenhouse drove in between the two of them 4 runs to just kind of start to, carry things away for Sylvan Lake. So overall, just a great game, and sometimes they say it's better late than never. And here tonight, that was the case for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Ten hits to the Bulls 6. It was a great night, and it was a great night on the mound, and it was, even better night to finish this game in the batter's box. Let's go down to field level. Joe Whitbread standing by with our EG Auctions player of the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear the sound of my voice, put your hands together for the starting pitcher and the player of the game, Reese Hammerling. You got some fans. Hey, Reese, congratulations. It's not easy to start a postseason game, especially the first guy out of the bullpen. You did your job tonight. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels good. It's always good to get Game 1, and, the boys bounced back real good and did well offensively, so it was nice to have.
8 of those Ks on that board. There were Ks up here as well. 8 of them belong to you. How was your stuff tonight? How did it feel?
Yeah, it felt great. The stuff was moving, and I just tried to keep them off balance, and I think I did a good job with that. And shout out to my catcher, Dunk, for also seeing that.
Yeah, Eli Duncan behind the plate. And shout out to the guys that put runs on the board. For a while, it was all Lethbridge, 1-0, but then it came, and the bats really helped. Talk about run support from this incredible lineup.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I never had a doubt in our offense. We've been good all year, and I knew it was coming.
Reese, congratulations on Game 1. I know you get to watch tomorrow, rest the arm, and we'll see you back here for at least one more home game, and we can't wait for that.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Joe.
You bet. There's Reese Hammerling, everybody.
The
your
Beaumont, Alberta kid
for
gets the job done for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. What a great start on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Reese Hammerling, your EG Auctions player of the game, after the pitching staff put up 14 strikeouts on the night between 3 pitchers and 3 arms on this Lethbridge Bulls team, who started hot. I mean, their defense was great. weren't giving anything up for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and then they get that one run. They get a little bit of that batter support, and it was kind of looking good for Lethbridge for a little while, but then Sylvan Lake's defense kind of cracked down like, okay, you can have one run, but we're not letting you get much more than that. And then, of course, that 5th inning, and Sylvan Lake just found a way to stay in it. They hung around. Bats were a little quiet early on, but they found a way to get the bats going in a big way, and then the 5th inning, things open up. 6 runs in that 6th inning, 2 in the 7th, and then, of course, the 1 in the 8th to make it a 9-2 victory over the Lethbridge Bulls, and we're just going to keep it going. Tomorrow night, Game 2, down in Lethbridge at 7:05. You could catch all the action, of course, right here on Flow College with the Lethbridge Bulls broadcaster. He'll have all the action for you. And then if Game 3 is necessary, it will come back to Sylvan Lake here on Sunday night with a 7:05 start. But the Sylvan Lake Gulls get Game 1 out of their way on their road to the Harry Hallis Memorial Trophy. Slow start offensively, hot start defensively, and it just kept going. Reese Hemmerling was feeling it, and the Bulls would come in to score, but he just kept dealing. He kept hanging in there, and he said, I know I'll get my run support eventually. We just got to stick with the game plan, and that's exactly what happened. Maddox Shaver led things off with a double, and then Elijah Hamill does what he does best and drives in 2 runs. And, of course, Shea McTavish super frustrated because he had a great start in this game. Thought that the Bulls had the best chance to maybe come away with a win on the road. And then, of course, we tip our caps to Rob Manka, who is retiring at the end of this season. Great stuff all in all for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. They'll head down for Game 2 tomorrow night for a rematch against the Bulls. For everybody at Green Onion Media, I'm Cale Clark. Thanks for watching with another Bird's Eye View.